All right, now we are on to the second part of the notes where you actually are solving quadratic equations. So I still need to be solving them, which means I need to calculate what is the solution set. So that's what you're doing. But we already have done the factoring method. Factoring, again, remember when I have it as set of two parentheses equals 0. And that's what factoring method is. So today you're working actually taking square roots. So this is what you are working on today. So this one actually will have some steps, but not too many. It's actually quite an interesting process. I enjoy it. Solving quadratic by taking square roots. So let's fill in the blanks. Solving quadratic equation using square root method. Square roots. Square roots mean, this is what called square root. It's also a symbol in your calculator, but this is what called square root. What I'm trying to say is, okay, let me explain you something. So this is a square, and both of these two sides of the square are equal. And let's just say it's 5 and this side is 5. And why it is called a square? Because 5 times 5 is 25. So this is the area of the square as well. But square is 5 times 5, 25. Now, square root means I know that this is 25. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to locate for this is question mark. So all I have to do is 25 and then I put it under the root or square root. Once I do that, I know it is 5 times 5. So one of the number should be 5. So that's what square root method is. It is an acceptable strategy when the quadratic equations can be written without linear terms such as 5x or negative 9x. That means that equation has one square term and a constant. Remember that quadratic equation can have blank solution. This means when we take the square root, we need blank, and the blank can have two solutions. We need to take the blank and the blank of the square root. I don't understand what goes over there, but I think we need positive root and negative square root. Oh, negative square root, that makes sense. Okay. So we need positive square root and negative square root. So what I mean is if I have a 25 square root, it's plus 5 or negative 5. That would be my, this is my positive root, positive 5, and this is my negative root, negative 5. That's what they're trying to say. Steps are not that complicated. They actually are kind of easier. You are doing reverse of PEMDAS because I need to be able to find the x value. So your goal is to first of all isolate x, and then you isolate the square term, and then I'm going to put it under the root. So your goal is to isolate x squared first, and then you will eventually have the value of the x. So look over here. This question could be totally done in the other ways, but since your topic says that I have to find or I have to use the square root method, so I will be using the square root method. So in square root method, your goal is to have the x squared by itself first. So this one needs to be by itself. So this is what your method requires. So x squared by itself. So if you want to make a note, first step or just normal step would be x squared by itself. That's not going to happen every time, but let's just say in this situation, make x squared by itself. So hide it up, and then this is a minus 12. So I'm going to do the opposite operation, which is positive 12 on both sides. Negative 12 plus 12 cancels out. It's a 0. So I'm not going to write the 0 equal sign here. 63 plus 12 is 3 and 2 is a 5, and 6 and 1 is a 6 and 1 is what? 7. Sorry. Now bring down this part, which is 5x squared. 5 times x squared. You are so used to doing when it is 5x. So So this is the same thing. My next step is divide by 5 on both sides. So I'm left with x squared equal to, this part should be 25. Okay. So yes, this was x squared by itself. I've done it. Once you are onto this step, you have to do the square root. This is what you have to do. You have to do the square root on both hand sides. Square, the opposite is square root. Squared, opposite is square root. It could be in this direction as well. They are opposite of each other. Just like division and multiple are opposite of each other, addition and subtraction are opposite of each other, squared and square roots are opposite of each other. So x squared will leave me with x, and 25 is basically 5 times 5, and then it's a positive 5 and negative 5. It's both numbers. It's positive 5 and negative 5. Why? So if you remember, 5 times 5 is also 25. And negative 5 times negative 5 is also positive 25. This is the reason why I have to take both positive and negative values of that number. Example number 2, I need the positive solution of the equation. First of all, know the word, underline the word solution. Solution is the x-intercept, or the 0, or the root. This equation is equals to 0 already, and if I use a calculator, I will have the answer, but you're required to learn it by hand, so let's do that. So first step, isolate the x squared. I'm gonna hide the x squared, and it's negative 18 over here, so I have to move this on the other side. So it should be plus 18 here and plus 18 here. This cancels out. 0 plus 18 is easy. It is 18. And it is half x. It could be 0.5x. I'm going to use half x because if it's 1/3, you're going to have a problem here. I'm not going to make it 0.5. This is half x. Okay. Now, this is where a lot of the kids have problem. This was easier when you had 5 times x squared. You knew it was division. In this one, it is already in division. So you do the opposite, which is multiply by 2 here and multiply by 2 here. So the opposite is multiplied. 18 times 2 is 36, and 2 divided by 2 again is 1. So it is canceled out. You're left with x squared. And I need the x value, so it's x squared, so I have to do the square root. And x value is positive 6 and negative 6. They are asking specifically positive solution, not negative. So it would be plus and 6. Leave everything else alone. All right, I'm gonna leave the third example for you to do. I'm gonna help you with number 4, and then I'm gonna help you with 6, and you will do 5 on your own. All right, so your goal is to have x squared by itself. Ignore my handwriting, it's ugly today. So x squared is this term, it needs to be by itself, so I'm gonna hide it so I don't get confused what is happening here. This is minus 9, so opposite should be plus 9 here and plus 9 here. Okay, draw a line, this is canceled out, equals to 40 plus 9 is 49 over here. And then this is x minus 5 whole squared. All right, Now it's the same process as previous page. Oh, you had x squared, so you did the under root on both sides. I'm gonna do the same thing on here as well. I have x minus 5 whole squared. So still, it's opposite of PEMDA, so I have to get rid of that square first. So I am going to do the square root on both sides. Okay? When I do square root, before you were left with x, but this time I'm going to be left with x minus 5 equals 49 is a perfect square of 7. So I'm left with positive 7 and negative 7. That's what I'm left with. Now over here, you still don't have the value of the x. What you are reading is x minus 5 equals positive 7 or x minus 5 equals negative 7. So what you do is you actually have one or two more steps here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite it like this. X minus 5 equals 1 time with the 7, positive, and x minus 5 1 time with the negative 7. This way I will have my answer, or two different values of x. Same old steps. I have to add 5 on both sides. So x will be 7 plus 5, 12. So this would be the first value of the x. And in this case, I'm going to add 5 again on both sides. I'm left with x, and this is minus 2. So your solution set is basically x 12 and negative 2. So the whole process is same. It's just go slow on your steps so you understand what is happening. This one should be easy because you basically don't have the plus 9 part. You start from here for this one. So try this on your own. I'm going to leave number 5 for you, and then I'm going to help you with number 6. All right, so I have this over here 2 times x plus 8 whole squared. So whole squared is just this part, the one I'm going to highlight. This part is whole square. So 2 is actually outside. It's outsider. So if you hide this part, you can see that it was being multiplied by 2. So first step would be you divide by 2 on both sides. Because this was being 2 was multiplied before I can actually do something with that square. So this is divide on both sides. So 2 divided by 2 is a 1, so that's gone. You're left with x plus 8 whole square. So I have the square by itself now. 200 divided by 2 is 100. Awesome. Next, you're back to the steps that we just did above. I need to do the square root. So I do the square root on both hand sides. And I will be left with, so the square root cancels the square part. I'm left with x plus 8 equal, this is 10, the square root of 10. If you don't know, you can check the calculator, but it is 10. Of 100 is 10 times 10 is 100. It's a square that has a 10 and a 10 over here. And in math, actually, you write it like this, plus 100 minus 100, not separately. So this is actually a proper way of writing, plus 100 minus 100. Once you're done with this part, now you actually have to solve it just like that. 1 time with the plus 100 and x plus 8, second time with the negative 100. Same steps. You are going to subtract 8 on both sides. Oh, why am I writing 100? It's a 10, sorry. I need 10. So 1 time you subtract. I realize because 100 minus 8 is 72, and it's impossible to get 72 here. So I realized my mistake that I should be writing 10. So pay attention onto your numbers. You will also realize that you could be wrong as well, and then you will be able to find your mistake. I subtract 8 on both sides. I'm left with x equals 10 minus 8 is 2. And on this side, I'm going to subtract 8 again. So I'm left with x equals -10, -8 is -18. So your solution set is 2, -18, and that would be your answer. Similar way, try to do this question. And you have 2 multiple choice that you have to work on. First one is this one, equivalent to 84 square root. And then the second one, you have this one. What could be the 2 possible numbers that work with that? And you can totally see these 2 are extremely big numbers. I don't think those would be the answers. But anyway, read the clue if you can't solve it.